Our next generation portable is officially named PlayStation Vita.
Vita does indeed mean life. Sorry the video is a bit late this month, and that's because, well, there's not much going on in the Vita ecosystem. And so before we get into all that non-news, let's first get a word from our non-sponsors. The other day I was looking in the bathroom mirror pondering, whilst not using Keeps for Men hair loss treatment, while simultaneously murdering what remains with my subscription to Dollar Shave Club, and I thought, what killer game could save the Vita? And then it hit me. Raid Shadow Legends.
Get ready to raid.
But if you want to play Raid Shadow Legends, you're going to need to make sure you've got a VPN. Can't be having China blackmailing you over those hentai habits. I know that better than anyone. And if it's on the Vita, you're going to make sure you want to do it on the go. That's why you don't need to get yourself a Ridge wallet. I mean, look at that. It's like it's made for it. Fits right in there. So if you don't want to get any of these products, make sure to use the code don't buy this and tell them I didn't send you. Well, I think I covered them all. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that one. We ain't got nothing. So, with no news, let's get into what I've been playing this month on the PlayStation Vita. And it's not a whole lot either. So, first up is Alpha Set. This is a pretty straightforward puzzle game. It resembles a crossword, and you have to use each letter of the alphabet in every puzzle. So like any crossword, you try and fill out the obvious ones, which end up connecting to other ones which can be a bit more obtuse. There's no specific themes for the words, so it can be pretty all over the place, and there's many times where I've been sure that it's a certain word and it didn't work out. But there's no penalty for failing. It's just another one of those games that's about relaxing on a Sunday afternoon and doing a bit of a crossword. And there's a lot of puzzles here, to be honest, so it will take you quite a while. So if you're into this type of thing where there's no rush, do a puzzle or two every week, take your time, that's the type of game it is. And so if you're into that type of thing, then yeah, I'd go for it. But if none of these puzzle games have persuaded you before, then Alpha Set won't be doing that either. And the next game is Mushroom Heroes. This is quite an interesting little platformer where you switch between 3 different characters which each have different abilities. The levels thankfully aren't too long because it would have been a problem if they were, as there's no checkpoints, so you've got to do it all in one run, and it can get very tedious if you keep doing the same thing and dying, because there is certain little bugs here and there that I've found where your character will pass through an object and die or things like that, and if the levels were too long and you had to keep doing them over and over because of a bug, then I'd end up quitting the game out of frustration. But luckily the levels are quite short and they will require a bit of experimentation to work out exactly what it wants you to do. I would say the game needs a little bit more polish. I've noticed like switching between the 3 different characters, it takes longer than you expect it to. It's a slow process, and because of that it's not quite as snappy as you expect it to be. But the idea of the game and the combination of different abilities, I like the idea behind the game, but the execution is just not quite there. But hopefully someone else can get this idea and make something better. And finally, like I said, I've not played too much this month. The final game is Daggerhood. This surprised me because no one ever really talked about this game. I never really heard about it until I started playing it, and it's a cool platformer where you throw a dagger and you can teleport to the dagger's location instantly. It kind of has a slight Velocity Ultra type of thing going on where the mechanic of the teleportation becomes your main method to transport across the levels, as getting through the levels fast is part of the game. It's not the sole purpose of the game because there's a lot of collectibles and things like that, so you will be doing multiple runs through different levels. I will say it gets extremely difficult. I would have enjoyed the game more if it wasn't as difficult as it turned out to be. Now you will get the platinum long before the difficulty spike kicks in, but it did surprise me how difficult the game got. But I did enjoy it. It plays well, the mechanics are really good, it feels good to play. So if you want a new platformer with a slightly different tint, then I'd recommend Daggerhood because I think it's really cheap as well at the moment. As I said in the outset, there's really not much going on this month on the Vita, unfortunately. But first up is a game that's out now. It should have come out last month, but they had some issues with Sony and getting it on the store, and that's Task Force Campus. drawing inspiration from the golden age of Japanese shoot-'em-ups. Task Force Campus combines retro action with modern conventions, adding new mechanics and randomly generated stages with handcrafted bosses. In a unique twist, the game can be finished, but skilled players will find a way to continue past the ending and claim even higher scores. Rhythmic gameplay and a pulsing soundtrack work together to create an intense audio-visual experience. Now the next game is also out in the US already, and they're having issues getting it onto the EU store, so when it comes out this month, who knows, it could slip into next month, and that's Kawaii Defu Desu. For fans of fast-paced beat-em-ups, inspired by the likes of old arcade games, you'll feel right at home. Pick a supernatural idol and beat the hell out of, no pun intended, as many overzealous fans as you can. And the final game is a mystery title. It's coming out at the end of the month on the 30th, and that's from Sometimes You. All they've told me about this game is that there's going to be a lot of ways to die, so I've got no clue, but maybe you have. Now on the physical side from PlayAsia, they've already revealed 2 games up for pre-order, and the first one is the shoot-'em-up Task Force Campus, which I've already discussed earlier, and that's limited to 1,200 copies. And the other one is a visual novel game. It's Root Double Before Crime After Days Extended Edition. I'm actually playing this at the moment, but it's taken a while, so I'll let you know how it is next month. But this is limited to 2,000 copies, and I think it's slightly more expensive than the other one. PlayAsia have also told me there might be a third game, but they've not quite nailed down the date, so it will probably slip into next month. That's a mystery title for now. And if you've previously ordered Guard Duty, Xeno Crisis or Gambare, they're all planned to ship in September. And that's everything for this month. It's a very quiet month on the Vita front. Hopefully next month might be slightly better, but I'm not holding out too much hope. If you fancy getting yourself a free digital game, you can always head on over to Crash Landed and share your Vita collection, and you can pick a game you want. Let me know what you've been playing on the Vita in the comments below, and as always, don't forget, Vita means life.